Yeah, it's an epidemic here in Ohio. My question is, will you please cut off the source?
Yeah, I will cut off the source. Build a wall. I will cut off the
4 a.m., Columbus, Ohio. A hospital cloaked in silence, a director under federal watch, fentanyl concealed within medical cargo, sealed surgical chambers, human organs moving through refrigerated trucks under cover of night, patients who vanished without trace. For 9 years, a deadly operation, fentanyl distribution, organ harvesting, and calculated murder remained hidden behind sterile hospital corridors until federal agents stormed through the doors and dragged the horror into daylight. This wasn't narcotics stored in back alleys or abandoned buildings. This was a medical facility transformed into a harvesting center. The danger didn't breach the walls from outside, it grew from within. Murder, stolen organs, and betrayal disguised in professional scrubs and white lab coats. 12 kilograms of fentanyl locked inside a hospital safe, controlled by the woman entrusted to care for the vulnerable and elderly, while patients disappeared behind locked doors under her command. The morning of December 18th began like any other at the private medical center in Columbus. The parking lot sat nearly empty, illuminated only by scattered security lights. At precisely 4:20 a.m., that calm shattered into chaos. FBI and DEA operatives converged on the entrance simultaneously, their commands cutting through the stillness like blades. Boot strikes echoed across tile floors. Radio transmissions crackled through the air. A building designed for healing suddenly pulsed with tension and dread. Agents moved swiftly to the administrative wing on the second level. The director's office door was secured. A steel breaching tool hammered against the frame, splintering wood and warping metal hinges. Inside, the space appeared unremarkable. Framed family photographs lined the desk. Fresh flowers sat in a vase. Surfaces appeared organized and clean. The illusion of normalcy held until agents located the reinforced safe concealed behind a filing cabinet. Cutting equipment tore through the heavy steel. When the safe door finally opened, the atmosphere in the room changed instantly. Stacked inside were 12 kilograms of fentanyl compressed into blocks and sealed like currency. A loaded handgun rested beside the narcotics. An encrypted phone lay at the bottom. Minutes later, hospital director Amina Hassan, 48 years old, stood in handcuffs, her white lab coat hanging loose around her shoulders. Nursing staff watched from doorways, frozen in disbelief. 9 years of trust evaporated in a single dawn raid. For nearly a decade, the facility maintained an appearance of legitimacy. Patients arrived for routine appointments. Medical staff moved through sanitized hallways with practiced efficiency. Families placed absolute faith in every smile, every diagnosis, every prescription. No one suspected a criminal enterprise operated behind those locked administrative doors. There were no visible gang affiliations, no street-level dealers, no obvious warning signs. Everything appeared clinical, professional, controlled. Yet federal investigators discovered that every 7 days, shipments of fentanyl and heroin entered the hospital disguised as standard medical supplies. Staff members never used the word drugs in internal communications. Instead, they referenced the shipments using code language, specialized weight loss medication, or supplemental treatment materials. Small containers moved between examination rooms, passed to unsuspecting patients, each vial containing enough concentrated fentanyl to devastate entire neighborhoods. Financial audits exposed the depth of the deception. The hospital's purchasing records showed orders for medical supplies at volumes 10 times beyond legitimate operational needs. Midnight deliveries arrived with impeccable documentation. Sterile gloves, surgical gowns, laboratory equipment, all properly labeled and sealed. Hidden inside those containers were bricks of pharmaceutical-grade fentanyl. Parents brought children for wellness examinations. Elderly patients arrived for blood work and monitoring. Workers entrusted the facility with their health and lives. Meanwhile, a parallel operation, a criminal enterprise, expanded quietly inside the building, shielded by clipboards, identification badges, and the veneer of medical professionalism. Amina Hassan wasn't managing healthcare. She was operating a drug distribution pipeline, using the hospital as cover and patients as unwitting shields. But the fentanyl network was only the surface level of the nightmare federal agents uncovered. The most disturbing discovery wasn't the narcotics. It was the systematic process the hospital had developed to kill people legally on paper and harvest their organs without raising suspicion. The victims were carefully selected: elderly patients without surviving family members, homeless individuals brought in through emergency services, accident victims sedated before they could provide identification or consent. They were targeted specifically because their disappearance would generate no questions, no investigations, no consequences. Inside a concealed surgical suite, agents found an infrastructure designed to make murder appear medically justified. Patients were classified as critical upon arrival. Within 60 minutes, paperwork declared them unlikely to survive treatment. 2 signatures, one from an attending physician, one from an administrative manager, authorized emergency organ donation. Many victims never regained consciousness. Many never knew their fate had been decided before treatment even began. A corridor absent from all official floor plans led to the secret surgical ward. Bright overhead lights, stainless steel operating tables, no intention of saving lives. Medical records listed bodies only by numerical codes. No family contacts, no documented consent, no complete medical histories. When forensic analysts reviewed the archived files, the scale of the operation became clear: 315 surgical procedures across 9 years, many with no corresponding death certificates or burial records. Causes of death were recorded in vague, non-specific language, never mentioning organ removal. Harvested organs moved in refrigerated medical transport containers labeled donated biological material, emergency priority, blending seamlessly into legitimate medical shipments. Financial transactions traced back through cartel networks, CJNG, Sinaloa. The hospital had become a critical node in an international trafficking operation. A place constructed to heal had learned to make death look official, turning human beings into commodities with a signature and a stamp. Once Amina Hassan was in federal custody, agents understood immediately that the hospital represented only the entry point. Intelligence maps at the Federal Command Center displayed clinics, warehouses, and businesses scattered across Ohio, all connected to the same trafficking network. The directive was unambiguous: strike every location simultaneously. Before sunset, unmarked convoys moved across the state. Armored vehicles positioned themselves behind commercial properties. Helicopters circled silently above frozen streets. Inside a private clinic on the eastern edge of Columbus, 2 agents breached the rear entrance. The reception area sat empty, but the basement level was not. Locked industrial refrigerators packed with sealed containers. Labels indicated medical samples, but the chemical odor was unmistakable. On a stainless steel table lay surgical instruments already sterilized, prepared for the next procedure. At a warehouse facility near the Scioto River, the situation turned violent. Armed guards waited behind stacks of shipping crates. When federal teams approached, gunfire erupted. Rounds struck metal doors. Sparks flew from concrete walls. Agents took defensive positions behind vehicles. Commands remained sharp, controlled, without panic. A flashbang device exploded through a side window, flooding the interior with blinding light. The gunfire ceased. Suspects surrendered within minutes. At the residence of a municipal police officer, agents discovered large quantities of currency hidden inside ceiling tiles. At a bank director's suburban home, they recovered safety deposit keys and documents showing wire transfers to offshore accounts. The list of arrested individuals grew longer every hour. By nightfall, dozens of suspects were in custody across the state. Evidence filled transport trucks, narcotics, weapons, financial records, transplant files. Yet in the center of this darkness, one truth remained unshakable. It was American agents, the FBI, the DEA, federal task forces, who stepped forward when no one else understood what was happening. They followed evidence quietly, worked through the night, and walked into danger so ordinary citizens wouldn't have to. They exposed a network that stretched across state lines and international borders. And they executed their mission with discipline, courage, and unwavering commitment to protecting American lives. Justice doesn't end with one raid. It continues when the public refuses to remain silent. It strengthens when people demand accountability from their institutions. And it grows when stories like this reach every corner of the nation, because at the end of the day, one lesson stands above all others. America stays safe when its people stay aware, and when its protectors never stop fighting for truth.